Thanks for taking the time to check out the YouTube channel. Over the next month, going to be posting a lot of videos from how to look over maps to gear to tips, techniques, everything you're going to need to be a better turkey bow hunter in the woods this year, this spring. And we're starting right here in a traditional setup. Now, I've got all the windows and all that stuff open just so that we can get light in here. But one of the first things you need to do is if you plan to spend any time in a ground blind this spring, you need to be able to learn the ins and outs of that ground blind, from how to set it up to how to take it down, where you can do it quick. A lot of times you may have a midday setup where you get a tom to sound off and you need to pop that blind up quick, and you don't want to be fighting hubs and things like that. Also, you want to learn all about your window systems. Make sure that you can manipulate these windows exactly the way you want them. And in addition to that, you need to make sure to take time to practice shooting out of the ground blind. And there's a reason for that. And that is you want to make sure that you get good clearance, and that when you're in this blind, the bow, your setup, everything, your sight, the brightness of your pins, everything works out so that you can maneuver in here, that you're going to get clearance from the windows, that when you shoot, you don't have any problems with your elbow contacting the back of the blind, and that you don't have any clearance issues inside of the blind. You also want to make sure that you're pulling a poundage on your bow where you're not fighting it. When you're in a ground blind or any turkey hunting situation, you want to be able to come straight back and get back comfortably. Now in this instance, I have it set up on purpose where my 3D target, I'm going to have to come and lean here. So I want to make sure that I have that clearance and that everything's right so that I can lean get into my trigger and execute a really good shot. Now, let's go up and talk a little bit about shot placement and why I have the setup that I do. Everything as realistic as possible. So when I'm hunting from a ground blind, most of the time, I have a decoy spread out here. It's usually 3 decoys. I've got a lay down hen, usually a lay down hen with this particular Jake decoy. This is a Dave Smith decoy, quarter strut Jake, and I usually have a lay down hen, but I didn't put her out for now. What I want to show though, and the reason that I have this set up is I want to simulate that crunch time, that game time, what it's going to look like. With this decoy setup, 9 times out of 10, an approaching tom is going to want to face that imposter. He wants to look that guy in the eye and say, I'm here to whoop your butt. Now, he may make a long route and circle in behind him, but eventually, if you stay patient, he is going to want to face that decoy, and that's going to give you that good quartering away broadside shot into his vitals. So I do definitely recommend getting a 3D type foam target here. This one's from Delta McKenzie. It's going to run you about 130 bucks. I have shot the snot out of it, and it just keeps lasting. With this type of system, I can really simulate those types of shots and get uber accurate shooting this target out of a ground blind, and know that when it comes down to crunch time, I've done everything right to prepare. Now, a lot of people ask, you know, where should I shoot a turkey? Where is the absolute best spot to shoot a turkey? And there's a lot of opinions out there, but I'm going to tell you what works best for me. I divide the turkey. This bird is obviously in strut up into thirds. There is a lower third, a middle third, and then there'll be this line up here that is mostly air and feathers, and that is the upper third. You want to be in the second third. If you're in that second third, you're going to crush them, because just remember, if you hit them low, you're going to watch them go most of the time. You're going to get in the air sac, you're going to get in the breast meat. If you're too high, you're going to knock feathers off their back, and it's just not going to be a good deal. Right here, you're going to see in these types of targets, anywhere in that wing butt area, from where the wing butt comes in and angles back towards where his drumsticks come up, if you're in that core area, you're going to smash that bird. He's not going to go anywhere. And this really helps simulate that, when you can put that 3D target out there and shoot it where it needs to be shot from a ground blind with a bow that's set up for turkey hunting, that you can draw back, get that poundage right, know that your sight pins give you enough brightness inside of a dark ground blind. And I would do this in the mornings, I do it in the evenings, I do it in the heat of the day, just to give that different brightness settings inside of that blind, and you'll be set up and ready to go to really simulate that shooting for turkey hunting out of a ground blind.